gents. This is your science teacher. This is week number 10 now in our online learning, and by this time, really almost all of you are at school, and I'm just hoping the rest of you are going to come as soon as possible. But in the meantime, we're going to continue with some of these online recording videos. Now, we've been talking about acid and base, and this is really our last lesson about acid and base, and in fact, the last lesson in our whole module of kitchen sciences, okay? Which is what we've done from the beginning of the year. So we looked at material, we looked at the reaction between them, and then we specifically zoned on acid and base. We're going to finish it today, and our next module is going to be space, okay? Now, we know already from what we've learned the last couple of lessons that all materials in the world are either acid or base, and in fact, majority of them are neither acid or base, when we call them neutral material. Okay, so today we're going to look at what happens when we mix acid and base together, right? Now, I think some of you already have an intuition of what will happen, because acid is like the North Pole and base is like the South Pole, or plus and minus, and when we add them, you can probably guess that they will cancel each other out. Okay, the word we use is neutralization. Okay, it's a neutralization reaction, and they will neutralize each other. So I've got acid here, okay, hydrochloric acid, and I'm going to add just a couple of drops of universal indicator, maybe a little bit more. Okay, now I'll just put the white paper in front of it, and hopefully you can see that it's a little bit on the pinkish, it has a little bit of a red tinge to it. Okay, see from my side, I don't know how well you can see in the camera. Anyway, it's definitely acid. Okay, now if I add base, okay, I have sodium carbonate. Anything that ends with carbonate, oxide, or hydroxide is an acid. Okay, so if I add that, okay, and you guys did that. We did that in an experiment. You did it with vinegar and bicarb, and you can still do it again. It's the same kind of reaction. So I'm adding base to acid. And you can see there's a nice little bubbles going on. And I don't know if you saw it, it's very clear from where I'm sitting that it's not red anymore. In fact, it's a little bit blue. Okay? It's a little bit blue. But blue or greenish means it's neutral and maybe even a little bit base. So what we've done, we neutralized the acid. Okay? Now, what are those bubbles? Okay? What are those bubbles? Let's add a little bit more. Okay? Yeah. It's not going to do anything because it's already base. So just to play with that is a bit fun. I'm going to add a little bit more acid. Okay, let's see if that happens if I add more acid. Okay. A little bit bubbles, not that much. Anyway, so we've got some gas inside here. I think we already mentioned that. Let me just get my lighter. Okay, we mentioned that this gas is carbon dioxide. And how can I tell it's carbon dioxide? Okay. Well, carbon dioxide extinguishes flame. So let's see if it extinguishes this flame. And it does, okay? Extinguish the flame before I touch the liquid. So in a neutralization reaction, okay, the acid and the base cancel each other out and we get a neutral solution. And sometimes we also get carbon dioxide. Not always, okay? A lot of the times we don't get carbon dioxide, but sometimes we do. Now, when is this neutralization reaction important? So I think I've mentioned to some of you, I don't know if it was just the people in the class, but some people suffer from heartburn. What is heartburn? Heartburn is when the acid in the stomach, strong acid, pH 1, acid in the stomach somehow comes out of the stomach. There is a muscle at the top of the stomach that's supposed to keep it in. But sometimes that muscle is a little bit loose and then acid can come out. We call it reflex. And then you get that burning sensation in the throat, okay? Somewhere here, some people have it higher. Okay, what is that? It's acid, and that acid corrodes your inner lining, and it's actually not good. Okay, now if you have it once in a while, maybe you ate too much or you had some fatty foods, then what people do will take a tablet. Okay, that tablet is a type of a base. Okay, it's a base, and when you add that base into it, it will neutralize the acid inside not inside the stomach because you need that, but inside above the stomach, and then it will give you relief, Gaviscon, okay? But that is quite a serious situation. If you're suffering for it constantly, if you constantly have acid over there, then the tablet is not going to be enough, and you need to really do something about it because it can get worse. Yeah, I think I'll stop here, and I'll put a little worksheet for you to do underneath. See you guys next week.